Hi guys, my name is Ashley Everode, and today I will be talking to you all about sleep paralysis. So what exactly is sleep paralysis? Sleep paralysis presents itself as a waking nightmare where subjects experience vivid consciousness, muscle atonia, hallucinations that can be visual and auditory, and feelings of extreme panic, fear, and/or anxiety. It is important to note that sleep paralysis affects people differently, and some people may not experience hallucinations. Sleep paralysis is often associated with sleep onset REM periods. REM just stands for rapid eye movement, and SOREM is REM sleep that occurs within 15 minutes of falling asleep. During REM sleep, neurons have been shown to have the same activity as when an individual is awake and may be associated with increased neuronal firing, most notably in the pons, lateral geniculate nucleus, and occipital cortex. This is important to keep in mind due to the functions of these parts of the brain. The pons is responsible for the regulation of functions of cranial nerves, works with the medulla oblongata to create breathing rhythm, is fundamental to REM sleep, and may play a role in generating dreams. The lateral geniculate nucleus is part of the sensory projection nuclei in the thalamus and plays a fundamental role in visual processing. The occipital cortex also plays a role in visual processing as it contains the primary and associative visual cortexes. Sleep paralysis has been estimated to affect approximately 1.7% to 40% of the general population, predominantly students. Also, females tend to be more affected than males. Unfortunately, there has not been much research done on sleep paralysis, and the research that has been done is most often in the context of narcolepsy. However, it is important to note that sleep paralysis can occur in people who do not suffer from narcolepsy. This is often referred to as isolated or recurrent isolated sleep paralysis. Although sleep paralysis is usually looked at in the context of narcolepsy, it also appears to be associated with panic attacks and stress, sleep deprivation and fatigue, and mental disorders such as post-traumatic stress disorder, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia. Sleep paralysis is a complex condition. Patients are able to clearly remember details of what happened around them during episodes, such as talking to doctors and answering specific questions, but are unable to fully determine whether what happened was real or a dream. This is reminiscent of the contradiction between real and unreal, awake and dreaming, which is similar to the recalls of patients after a delirium. This suggests a dissociated state of mind during sleep paralysis. Research done in 2011 shows EEG frequency analysis results that are consistent with these findings. Data revealed that during sleep paralysis, there are two spikes in neuronal activity. One occurs at the 9.5 Hz range, which is consistent with the peak range during wakefulness, and the other occurs at the 17 to 18.5 Hz range, which is consistent with the peak activity during REM sleep. The neurophysiological data from this study reinforced the idea that the patient is in an intermediate state of mind between wake and REM sleep during the episode. Paralysis may also be caused by hyperactivation of noradrenergic and serotonergic activity in the brain. What this means is that essentially there are neurotransmitters responsible for opposite functions competing for control of the brain. Noradrenergic neurotransmitters are responsible for arousal and alertness, while serotonergic neurotransmitters produce serotonin, which helps us fall asleep. The competition between these two functions may lead to the strange waking nightmare that those experiencing sleep paralysis have. Although there is no known treatment that is guaranteed to prevent or stop sleep paralysis, there are some options available to those that suffer. Tricyclic antidepressants and selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, or SSRIs, are hypothesized to prevent REM sleep. However, they are very hit or miss as they work for some people and don't work for others. Sodium oxybate is another option which has been well studied but only in the cases of those with narcolepsy. It has been inconsistent among patients but may lead to the reduced likelihood of sleep paralysis episodes. Education and reassurance are two important psychotherapy options. The normalization of sleep paralysis is critical as it may lead to more people coming forward and talking to their doctors, which could result in more research being conducted on the disorder. Unfortunately, the stigma and resulting embarrassment associated with sleep paralysis prevents many from seeking professional medical help. Most sufferers revert to other means such as herbalists or religious leaders. Sleep hygiene and insomnia treatment can also be used as prevention methods. Some practices for a good night's sleep, including a regular sleep schedule, having no caffeine or alcohol before going to bed, not falling asleep on your back, and sleeping with a nightlight, can reduce the likelihood of sleep paralysis episodes. Cognitive behavioral therapy may also help reduce the likelihood of sleep paralysis episodes. Some techniques include sleep paralysis specific sleep hygiene, as mentioned above, relaxation and in vivo episode disruption techniques, such as focusing on moving extremities and internal rationalization, learning ways to cope with frightening hallucinations, disputation of catastrophic thoughts, and rehearsal of successful resolutions to sleep paralysis episodes. So here's my list of resources that I used for this presentation. If any of you are interested, I would highly recommend reading through them because there's a lot of the cultural significance that I didn't get a chance to cover. I wanted to keep this more focused on the neurology aspect. But thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to this presentation. I'm really sorry about all the clicks. This is my first time doing it, but I hope you all have a good day and feel free to email me with any questions you have.